What if I told you that some of Rome's most powerful leaders and Roman emperors consulted shamans? And what if I told you that the spiritual and mystical world of shamans had a significant impact on Roman political decisions, culture, and even the empire's survival? Stick around, because you're about to learn something that will completely alter your view of ancient Rome and the true power behind its rise. In the shadows of ancient Rome's grandeur, a secret world of mysticism thrived, where individuals turned to shamanism for spiritual guidance and healing. This often overlooked aspect of Roman culture reveals a complex and intriguing picture of a society torn between polytheistic beliefs and the allure of mystical experiences. Today we're going to explore the hidden side of ancient Rome, an aspect of the culture that most people have never heard of before: shamanism. Yes, indeed, Roman religion, as we know it, was predominantly polytheistic, revolving around gods and deities. But there were individuals who practiced what we'd now call shamanism. One of the biggest misconceptions about Roman religion is that it was a monolithic entity, where everyone worshipped the same gods in the same way. However, the reality is that Roman religion was a complex tapestry of different beliefs and practices, with various groups and individuals drawn to different forms of spirituality. Among these were the shamans, who walked a delicate tightrope between their mystical practices and the dominant polytheistic culture. Shamanism in ancient Rome was not limited to any single group. It could be found in the rural corners of the empire, in the military, and even in the palace of emperors. But how did shamanism seep into a civilization so rooted in traditional religion? Shamanism likely found its way into Roman culture through their contact with other civilizations. The Romans were well known for conquering distant lands, and with every conquest, they encountered new spiritual practices. Roman religion included a wide array of localized and syncretic practices that some may consider part of folk traditions, or the adoption of rituals from conquered peoples like the Etruscans, Greeks, and Celts, rather than a straightforward incorporation of shamanistic practices. One of the earliest known influences came from the Gauls, whose druids practiced rituals that seemed far removed from the Roman pantheon. It was through these encounters that Roman leaders began to appreciate the mystical powers of shamans. They saw them as spiritual advisors, capable of receiving visions or messages from the divine. Okay, let's discuss rituals and practices. What did these shamanic rituals look like? In some cases, it involved trances, sacrificial offerings, and sacred ceremonies meant to communicate with spirits. One famous shamanic ritual involved augury, where shamans would interpret the flight of birds to predict the future. This practice was not just for farmers. It was used by Roman generals and emperors who relied on augury to determine the outcome of battles. It is important to note that augurs held a formal, institutionalized position within Roman society, and their practices were based on specific training and rituals. The Roman shaman's toolkit was a diverse and eclectic one, encompassing everything from meditation and visualization to ritual sacrifice and divination. Shamanic rituals often involved the use of sacred plants, such as belladonna and mandrake, which were believed to hold the key to otherworldly realms and hidden knowledge. These practices, however, allowed Roman shamans to tap into the collective unconscious, accessing ancient wisdom and mystical insights that continue to resonate with us today. How did the traditional Roman religious leaders view shamanism? Shamanism was not only seen as unorthodox, but it also posed a challenge to the authority of the traditional Roman priests and priestesses. These religious leaders were tied to the state and its institutions, whereas shamans operated on the fringes of society, often outside the boundaries of traditional religious structures. This made them vulnerable to persecution and marginalization. The tension between shamanism and traditional Roman religion is best exemplified by the Roman Empire's conflicted relationship with the Druids. While the Druids were revered for their wisdom and spiritual prowess, they were also seen as a threat to Roman authority, leading to brutal suppression and eventual extermination. This ambivalence towards shamanic practices reflects the deeper currents of Roman society, where spirituality and politics were inextricably entwined. It is important to note that, While Druids practiced divination, prophecy, and spiritual leadership as the shamans did, they were part of Celtic religious traditions rather than a form of Roman shamanism. The Roman Empire's relationship with the Druids was complex and hostile, especially as the Druids were seen as a challenge to Roman control in Britain and Gaul. The Roman suppression of Druidic practices was not based on theological disagreements over shamanism, but rather on the Druids' influence and their resistance to Roman rule. Now we often think of ancient Roman religion as orderly and structured, but shamanism was far from conventional. Roman polytheism had established rituals and gods, and those who practiced shamanism often faced significant scrutiny and misunderstanding from their peers. Shamanism wasn't always seen as an official or acceptable practice, and these shamans walked a fine line between being revered and being accused of witchcraft. Shamanism in ancient Rome took many forms, from the ecstatic rituals of the mysteries of Dionysus to the introspective practices of the Hermetists. At the heart of these diverse traditions lay a common quest for spiritual insight and connection with the divine. Roman shamans drew inspiration from a wide range of sources, including Greek mythology, Eastern mysticism, and indigenous European traditions. This syncretism gave rise to a unique form of Roman shamanism, which blended the mystical with the mundane, the sacred with the profane. Who were the key figures in Roman shamanism? One of the most fascinating figures in Roman shamanism was the enigmatic Apollonius of Tyana, a charismatic and prominent figure who was known for his philosophical and mystical teachings. He blended elements of Pythagoreanism, Stoicism, Hermeticism, and other traditions to create a unique brand of spiritual teaching. His teachings on the nature of the self and the universe continue to influence spiritual seekers to this day. Apollonius's life and teachings offer a window into the complex and multifaceted world of Roman shamanism, where individuals like him navigated the treacherous landscape of Roman politics and religion. Another such figure was Aulus Cornelius Celsus, a renowned Roman healer and philosopher who was influenced by shamanistic traditions in his medical practices. Although, while he did write extensively on medical and philosophical topics, his work was generally considered grounded in Greek medical traditions rather than primarily indigenous mystical or shamanistic. Other notable figures in Roman society, like certain military generals, were also known to have consulted shamans for guidance on critical matters. In 69 CE, the Roman Empire was plunged into chaos as 4 emperors vied for power, leading to a period of unprecedented instability and upheaval. It was during this tumultuous period that a legendary shaman named Veleda made a prediction that would change the course of Roman history. Her prophecy of a great crisis that would soon engulf the empire led to a shift in the Roman power structure, as influential leaders began to question the authority of the ruling elite. One of the most famous instances of shamanic influence on Roman politics comes from the Battle of Cannae during the Second Punic War. It is said that a shamanic seer predicted Hannibal's victory, an event that had a profound effect on Roman military strategy. The Roman Senate, desperate to understand the future, turned to these mystical figures for guidance, thus showing the deep-rooted belief in the power of visions. Shamanism played a surprising but important role in the development of Roman society. Though often overshadowed by the official Roman pantheon, its influence was undeniable in shaping the thoughts, beliefs, and actions of some of Rome's greatest leaders. These spiritual practices were interwoven with Roman politics, military strategy, and even daily life, leaving a lasting legacy. The Romans who practiced shamanism offer us a unique glimpse into the complexities of ancient Roman spirituality, revealing a world of mysticism, ritual, and spiritual exploration that continues to fascinate and inspire us today. So next time you think about ancient Rome, remember that there's more to the story than just gods and gladiators. The whispers of shamans may have shaped the empire in ways you never imagined. If this video left you questioning ancient history, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's more where that came from.